How y'all doing? This is Rob Burnham, here, Preacher Man R&B, and this is another episode of Retro Land Comics. This time I'm doing another episode of movie reviews. This time I'm reviewing The Iron Claw. And what The Iron Claw is about, it is the story about the life and tragedy of the Von Erich family in wrestling. And how it starts off is the Von Erich's father has his own promotion, WCCW, and he's training his sons to wrestle. And first, Kevin is starting off in the business, who's played by Zac Efron. And he's starting off in the business, like I said, and he wins the heavyweight championship of his father's promotion, WCCW. Then his younger brother David comes in and they start a tag team, and they're doing pretty good throughout the tag team scene. And their other brother Kevin, who is trying to become an Olympian, that falls through for him, so he joins in with his brothers and they become a three-way tag team. And they're feuding with the Freebirds throughout the first half of the movie, and they wind up winning the six-man NWA Tag Team Champions from the Freebirds. What else is happening is throughout the movie, Kevin gets a shot at Harley Race's heavyweight championship, and he winds up winning by disqualification, but he doesn't get the title because he lost it by disqualification. And then David gets a shot at the title, and he has to feud with, I think it's Ric Flair, all around the world. He has to go on the road and feud with Ric Flair, and on the road he winds up getting sick and he starts throwing up blood, and Kevin's worried about his brother David and tries to tell David to go to the hospital and get checked out, but David just passes it off as a stomach bug or whatever. Come to find out, David appendix ruptures in Japan while he's in his hotel room, and David winds up dying. So the Von Erichs have to deal through that loss, and one of the youngest brothers, Michael, he really doesn't want to be a wrestler. He wants to pursue music, but his father forces him into the wrestling business, and he starts training. And throughout him starting training, and he gets, I think it's like his first match, and he winds up getting his shoulder hurt, and then he goes into surgery and winds up in a coma. Well, he comes out of the coma, and you can tell he's not right after the coma, and his father is trying to get him back into wrestling after the surgery or whatever. And you can tell something's not right with Michael. And Michael winds up killing himself. And at first he tries to overdose with his pain medicine. That doesn't work, so he goes out, walking in the ranch, and the Von Erich family winds up finding him dead after he's done killed himself. So they have a second funeral. And what else is happening throughout this, Kevin finally gets a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship with Ric Flair, and he gets so angry in the match because all the crap Ric Flair's been talking, and he puts the Iron Claw on Ric Flair so forcefully it busts his Flair open, and then Kevin gets disqualified. And then Ric Flair tells him after the match that he respects him or whatever because he thought he was just soft, but he really isn't. And Kerry winds up going to the WWF, so he's done become WWF Intercontinental Champion. He's doing pretty good. He comes home for Christmas and he gives his father a gun, and then he snaps on his father because his father doesn't want to shoot it. He wants to have a family dinner or whatever. And later on that night, or a couple of nights later, Kerry winds up calling Kevin and distraught and saying how he doesn't want to be alive anymore. So Kevin calls his father, and their father's a real piece of work. He's tough on them, and he really doesn't look after his sons like he's supposed to, and it bites him in the butt whenever Kevin calls him to tell him to check on Kerry because Kerry's out there at the ranch with him. The father doesn't do this. Kevin makes it to the ranch that next morning, finding Kerry's dead body after he's done shot himself, and then Kevin freaking goes postal on his father, almost choking him to death because his father didn't come check on Kerry like Kevin asked him. And then his father wants to blame Kevin because Kerry called Kevin instead of him, so it was his fault and all this other crap. And After that, toward the end of the movie, we see Carrie going into heaven and meeting his brothers, and he meets his oldest brother that died by an accidental electrocution when he was 6 years old. He meets him for the first time. And other than that, that's all that really happened in this movie. If y'all ever watched Iron Claw, what'd y'all like about it? As always, Rob Bauman with your feature metal. I'll be signing out. Thanks for being awesome. This is an episode of Richard Lang Comics.